Now, I know that Transformers Age of Extinction really got this, but did the fifth one really have to get this big time? Well, I kind of say yeah. So, here's my review of Transformers The Last Night.
This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews.
So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Dual, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2017 sci-fi action flick Transformers The Last Night. Released by Paramount, once again directed by Michael Bay, from a screenplay by Art Markham, Matt Holloway, and Ken Nolan. Now then, we have Mark Wahlberg, who returns from the previous film, along with Josh Duhamel, John Turturro, and Glenn Morshower, reprising their roles from the first three films. This film also has Laura Hagg, Isabella Muller, Jared Carmichael, Santiago Cabrera, and Sir Anthony Hopkins, part of the cast. This is the fifth film, originally released in June of 2017. It came out on the 21st, and 3 days before that, it made its premiere at Odeon Leicester, if I mispronounced that, I apologize, Square. But this film really didn't do so well. It ended up being the worst of the five films and what have you. And it got dissed even more than the last, as much as the last film did. And they called it cacophonous, thinly plotted. That's understandable. It still did okay in my view, considering it was considered a box office bomb. So I'll go into the story, but first, if you haven't seen my reviews of the first four films, click on that card and I'll take you to the playlist, and you can catch what you might have missed or see my reviews again. Okay, that'll do it. Let's get into the story. In 484 AD, Merlin finds the Knights of Icon, a group of Transformers hiding on Earth, seeking their help to aid King Arthur and his knights. They hand him a staff and help Arthur defeat the Saxons, but warn Merlin to hide the staff. In the present, 5 years after the Hong Kong incident, Optimus Prime arrives on the ruins of Cybertron and meets the mad Cybertronian goddess Quintessa, who brainwashes him into Nemesis Prime and sends him to Earth to retrieve Merlin's staff to restore the planet by taking Earth's energy core. On Earth, a new paramilitary task force called the Transformers Reaction Force continues to hunt Transformers, while some of its U.S. military personnel, including Colonel William Lennox and General Morshower, are reluctantly against its actions. Cade Yeager, an ally to the Autobots, hides Transformer refugees in its junkyard. In a war-torn Chicago, Cade and Bumblebee meet a scavenger, Isabella, and her Transformer companion, Squeaks, before encountering a dying Transformer who gives them a talisman. The TRF, which is Transformers Reaction Force, confronts Cade to demand the Autobots' location, only to be stopped by Bumblebee, Lennox, and Hound. Megatron, having abandoned his Galvatron identity, his remaining Decepticons and the U.S. government learn of the talisman's value and reluctantly join forces to retrieve it and track Bumblebee to Cade's scrapyard. While the Autobots fend off the Decepticons, Grimlock and the Dinobots ambush a TRF convoy while Cade, his assistant Jimmy, Isabella, and Squeaks deal with a swarm of TRF drones sent after them. Cogman, a human-sized transformer, appears and invites Cade to the UK to meet his employer, Sir Edmund Burton, who is connected to the Transformers. Burton asks another Transformer, Hot Rod, to find Vivian Wembley, a University of Oxford professor. Burton explains to Cade, Vivian, and Bumblebee that Transformers have been living amongst mankind for centuries. Their existence once guarded by a secret society called the Order of Witkons, I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, of which he is the last living member. The talisman can lead to Merlin's staff. Buried in a Cybertronian spacecraft under the sea, Vivian is revealed to be the direct descendant of Merlin's bloodline and the only one who can activate the staff. The local authorities, MI6, and the British TRF discover them, forcing them to flee. Following clues while evading their pursuers, the group head to the Royal Navy Museum where they commandeer the submarine HMS Alliance, also a transformer, to find the spacecraft, while the TRF and the U.S. Navy SEALs tail them. Hell, I know this film was considered a box office bomb, but it still did okay. So I'll go ahead and give you the last act and the ending. You'll know the procedure 5 seconds to stop the video. Go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below it. As I count down, if you have seen this movie, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Burning contact Seymour Simmons, both learning that Earth is Unicron, excuse me, and the staff will drain the planet's life via an access point under Stonehenge. Locating the ship, Kate and Vivian find Merlin's tomb, where with Vivian activating Merlin's buried staff, awakening the Knights of Icon. The TRF and Navy SEALs ambush Kate and Vivian and take the staff, but are forced to surrender it to Optimus, who has arrived to take the staff. Bumblebee, Cade, and Lennox engage Optimus, during which Bumblebee speaks in his voice for the first time after he was given a spare voice box, starting Optimus's memories and freeing him from Quintessa's control. The Decepticons ambush Optimus and Cade and steal the staff. The Knights arrive to execute Optimus, but yield to Cade and join the humans and the Autobots upon seeing Cade's talisman turn into Excalibur. Brian tries to stop Megatron from activating the staff at Stonehenge, only to get killed. As Cybertron's remains ravaged Earth, the Autobots, Dragonstorm, and the humans, now working with the reformed TRF, launches a direct assault on Cybertron to defeat the Decepticons, Megatron, and Quintessa. During the battle, Vivian removes the staff and stops the transfer. Optimus defeats Megatron while Bumblebee seemingly kills Quintessa. With both worlds saved, the Autobots leave Earth to rebuild Cybertron. Meanwhile, Quintessa, who has survived the battle, disguises herself as a human and approaches a group of scientists inspecting one of Unicron's horns and offers them a way to destroy him. End of story. So what did I think of Transformers The Last Night? Well, the film's okay and what have you. But not great. But it's not that great though. I thought it was good at first, but I haven't revisited the film. But well, it just wasn't that great. And it didn't open as strong as the other films did. And it really took a hard hit big time. Going on to make only over 600 million worldwide. The lowest grossing film in the franchise since the day the franchise started in 2000, a decade before. And the film's 1% lower than the last film on the tomato meter. And they say, and given the lowest rating of the 6 overall films, Bumblebee would follow, even though that didn't make as much as the other films, but still it got better response. They say, as I mentioned earlier, cacophonous, thinly plotted, and boasting the state-of-the-art special effects, this film is pretty much what you'd expect from the 5th installment of the franchise. Well, that's understandable. Well, the effects were pretty good, though, but, yeah, just didn't have enough to pull it off. Peter Travers gave it a 0-star review, of course. Says, every time Michael Bay directed another Transformers Abomination, this is the 5th, the movies die a little. This one makes the summer's other blockbuster misfires look like masterpieces. Yeah, like I said, the story's not that great, though. I appreciate them trying to do their extreme best, but yeah. Another thing is the film's very long. It's 155 minutes. That's 10 minutes less than the last film. Yeah, that could have used some trimming and what have you. However, one good thing is they did bring Steve Jablonsky back on board to do the score, which that was good. Now, as for our cast, we did have Mark Wahlberg back as Cade Yeager. He's still good. It was good to have Josh Hamill back as William Lennox. And let's see here. John Turturro as Seymour Simmons and Glenn Morshower as General Morshower. So that was pretty good. Now, as for our new characters, we have Merlin, played by Stanley Tucci, who recently played Joshua Joyce in the previous film. Sir Anthony Hopkins plays Sir Edmund Burton. He's fine and what have you. Laura Haddock plays Vivian Wembley. She was fine. Isabella Moner played Isabella. And who actually was a streetwise who was orphaned by the Battle of Chicago and Dark of the Moon, and now lives in the sea with ruins with Squeaks and Canopy, her only friends until me and Cade. We have Jared Carmichael playing Jimmy, a young man from South Dakota whom Cade hired through a want ad. Let's see, Santiago Cabrera played Santos, a former Delta Force operative and commander of the TRF. And he was fine. Liam Garrigan played King Arthur. He had previously portrayed a different iteration of the character in the fifth season of TV's Once Upon a Time. Anyway, Pierre Cullen once again returns as the voice of Optimus Prime. Now, despite he did Galvatron the previous film, it was good to have Frank Welker play Megatron like he did in the original series, which that was good. Gemma Chan voices Quintessa. Let's see. Eric Idle voices does Bumblebee's voice. Jim Carter voices Cogman. Omar Sy voices Hot Rod. Ken Watanabe once again voices Drift, and John Goodman once again voices Hound. Now, aside from reprising his voice as Crosshairs, John DiMaggio also voices Nitro Zeus. Reno Wilson once again is back, but this time voicing Squeaks and Mohawk. Jess Harnell returns as Barricade, and Tom Kenny's back as Wheelie. And there's lots of others and what have you. It was good to see the Dinobots as well, but, well, yeah, we get to see a little more of them, but not as much as we did in the not quite as much. But anyway, yeah, that's about all I can tell you. I can't defend this film. The film story was okay, but not great. It did have a good score though, and a pretty decent cast and what have you, and some pretty good effects too. But this, it's just not that great. So this is the weakest of the franchise. So overall, should I recommend it? No, unless I'm going to give it a draw. My point is avoid this, or unless you are a hardcore completionist or a Transformers fan, then give it a one-time watch. And if you're not satisfied, then avoid it after you watch. Then just not watch it again. Okay, that's all I'm going to tell you. Okay. So, what did you think of Transformers The Last Night? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of a much better Transformers film, and it's the spin-off film Bumblebee. So I hope you enjoy my review, even if it's on a bad movie. And if you did, you may want to consider check out my reviews of some of these other films that kind of got a little bit of dissing and what have you. Well, in ways and what have you. In the upper left-hand corner is my spoiler-free review of the New Mutants, which is a spin-off of X-Men from 2020. Or go to the upper right-hand corner and see my review of the last X-Men film that Fox put out, and that was Dark Phoenix, which I know a lot of people didn't like. I'm going to go ahead and show you my review of that. Or if you would like a much better film And why have you go to the bottom left-hand corner see my spoiler-free review of Paramount's recent hit from with Hasbro. That would be Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, which is now streaming on Paramount Plus. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying see ya.